Hey you guys, welcome back to my channel. Today I'm making a video all about questions I ask myself before I purchase something as I'm trying to live more intentionally and mindfully. So stay tuned to see the list of questions that I go through when I'm looking to purchase something. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel down below. Hit the notification bell right next to the subscribe button so you don't miss any of my future content. Hit the like button for this video if you want to see more content like it.
Hey guys, I was watching this back and realized I forgot to introduce this new mini series that I'm going to do called The Urge to Splurge, and there are going to be multiple parts within it. One of them, the first one being the questions I ask myself before I make a purchase. So enjoy. Sorry I forgot to intro this whole new little mini series I'm doing, but enjoy.
Okay you guys, I've kind of changed the background and kind of where I'm sitting and the whole ambiance on the video. I just kind of wanted to run through a few questions. As you guys know, I'm trying to live a more intentional, minimal, mindful life, which does include my purchases that I make that are luxury or not. So I've kind of compiled a list of questions that I like to ask myself before I make a purchase, and also I've learned a couple new tips and tricks that I'm going to share with you guys. I may have mentioned them in a previous video, but I'm just going to reshare them so that they're, easily accessible. So the first question I ask myself is this an impulse buy? In the past, I've made a lot of impulse buys, sometimes due to the fact that I have seen somebody else, let's talk purchase specifically, carrying a purse, an influencer on YouTube, Instagram, anywhere that I have seen them carrying something, and all of a sudden it is something that I need in my life that I didn't know I needed prior. So I do have to ask myself, is this like impulse that I'm thinking that I just have to have this? Which does lead to the next question of, if I don't buy it today, can I still buy it another day? So if I really want to be mindful about my purchases, taking time to think about what it is that all of a sudden I just needed in my life, take a minute, take a breath, and by a minute I mean days. There are some people that implement a 24-hour rule. There are people that implement a 30-day rule, a 90-day rule, a week rule, whatever you need to really take a breather and figure out if this is something that you really want or need in your life. Something that I've shared with you guys before as a tip is specifically like Amazon, but really there's all kinds of like browser extensions that you can put on your browser. You can make an Excel spreadsheet of what it is that you are wanting. Regardless, if there's something that all of a sudden you find yourself wanting, find a way to make a list. On Amazon, I have a list for each month of the year and the year. So I have like,
April, May, July, 2022. I skipped June. April, May, June, July, 2022.
I have a separate list for each of those months. So for me, I'm trying to hold off 2 to 4 weeks before purchasing something that is an all of a sudden impulse buy on there. So I will actually, instead of purchasing it, add it to that list. And at the end of those 2 to 4 weeks, I will go back and revisit that list. And if it's something that I'm still thinking that I need or want, I will purchase it. The good thing about Amazon and most online retailers now is you can return it pretty easily. So it's never a like, once you've purchased it, it's done. Now, I do have the rule that if I've used something and it's not that I'm returning it because it's broken or whatever, I will not return it if it's like used, right? That's not right to do. So that is the second question I ask myself is, if I don't buy it today, can I purchase it another day? The next couple questions are more rational, like real life questions. Is one, does it fit within my budget? Very important question you need to ask yourself. I really truly don't believe in going into debt, especially for anything luxury that's an extra. I personally haven't gone into debt, though I have hit on the topic before that I had a spending problem, and I will do another video about that. And that's where these questions have come into play as I've kind of curbed that. But the question, is it within my budget, is very important to ask yourself. And it's up to you if you want to like rearrange things in your budget to make it work. I don't know that I've ever done that. But if there's something that you're not spending money on that month, if you do budget monthly, maybe you can make it work into your budget. That's for you to decide for your budget. And another question I ask myself, which is a very real question to ask, is where will I keep this? Do I have room for it? Is it, and this is not like, do I have room for it only like physically, but do I have room for it emotionally? So many other ways, like a cluttered space is a cluttered mind for me. So if I'm just adding clutter to my space, I'm really not helping myself in the long run. And another question I ask myself is, how much use will I get out of this? And this kind of goes back to like, is this an impulse buy? If it's an impulse buy and I think I'm gonna get a ton of use out of it, a really good thing to do is to just like wait on that purchase for a minute. I just don't like to do panic buying anymore. It never works out for me. So that is definitely something that I take into consideration when I'm looking to purchase something. And then really the final question that I personally ask myself, as you guys know, I purchase luxury purses and then I typically will use them for a little bit, maybe, and then I resell them back to, you know, Fashion File or Rebag or some online reseller. And that is the exception to the rule of like using something and returning it, because you're not actually returning it, you're then reselling it. But I always ask myself, how will I get rid of or dispose of or recycle this item that I'm bringing into my life? So that is an important question. Again, this is just about being more intentional for me. So when I'm thinking about being intentional, I want to think about the whole process and what that intentionality looks like for me. And with that includes, you know, what will I do with this piece when I'm done with it? So those are the top 5 or 6 questions I usually kind of run through my brain. I'm sure there are other questions. If you have a question that you like run through your brain consistently when you're looking to purchase something, leave it down in the comments below. Maybe it's something that I need to add to my list of what I can ask myself in the future going forward. Are you intentional about your purchases? Are you a spur of the moment kind of purchase maker? There's no right or wrong answer. It's just whatever works for you. So let me know down in the comments below. I appreciate you guys taking time to watch this video, and I will talk to you next time. Bye. So sometimes do, because tip, maybe the only tip, I don't know. But so that's the second question I asked myself of, so is that talking.